Hello everybody, welcome back to Hard Enduro Media. We're finally here. We've finally got the 300 TPI build just about done now. It's the KTM 300. It's the last of the 2019 bikes. My personal bike, my personal build, and it'll probably be the last brand new bike that I buy for quite a long time. So this is the bike that I'm going to look after and care for. But it's going to be taken out to sea to sky in about a week's time now. So I just want to talk about a few of the things that I've done to the bike before we take it for a test spin and run the bike in. It's got about 6 minutes on the clock at the moment, so it is factory fresh. So just starting at the front of the bike on the top, we've got the standard KTM handguard, the wraparound handguard. These are the aluminium ones. I prefer these to the plastic ones. They're quite robust. I've got a set of these on my 250F as well, and although I did lose the plastics a few weeks ago in Bulgaria, overall the handguard is strong, and it did what it was required to do, protecting the extremities of the bike. Also up front, on the front of the bike, we've got the gassed utility box. Again, this is something I've been testing fairly recently. I've got one on the other bike as well. I've used it in Bulgaria, a 6 days crazy job. What a good piece of kit that is. Yeah, you don't have a headlight, but it's somewhere to store all your safety gear, you know, your first aid kit, flares, things like that, torches, etc. Strap it into the box, and it is it's quite robust, and it's something that you don't have to carry on your body. If you can travel light on your body, it makes things a lot easier when you have to get off and start pushing and shoving on some of those hills. Down below up front, we've got the disc guard protector. It's the aluminium disc protector. Now I'm just waiting for a complementary lower fork leg protector for the opposite side. So once that comes up, we'll have that fitted as well before we go to sea to sky and start using the bike properly. The front forks, these are the front forks off my 250F. We borrowed them because we haven't had time to get the new suspension dialed in yet to my weight with the springs and revalved to my settings. Now, me and Nick did some work in the workshop at Eurotech a few months ago, revalving these and respringing them, and they are a lot better than stock. Stock springs are for about 75 kilo a rider. I'm in the region of 105, 110 fully equipped. So obviously you can imagine what it was like. I wasn't really riding in the optimum part of the stroke on the suspension. I've always been one of the guys who rides a bike straight out of the box and never bothered with the suspension. But when I did test the bike back to back from old to new suspension, it was just unbelievable. It is like night and day. Now working back to the headstock, we've got some it's a little bit of detailing now. A little bit of if you look on the headstock wiring, the electrical wiring, these are sometimes quite vulnerable. And on the regulator side, I've got some trunk in there just to protect the wiring over the top of the radiator where the Jubilee clips are. Stop that rubbing there. And you might see the black wire, the black sheathing next to the clutch fluid cable. That is for the feed for the fan, the override switch for the fan, which just tucks in there nicely. On the opposite side, we've got again more trunking for the wiring to the headstock in relation to the lights, etc. They sometimes can break. The wiring on the KTM bike, that's the only fault I can pick out really, is that the wires in the headstock loom break at times. I don't know why that is if they're too thin, but hoping that this will alleviate the problem a little bit. Just moving up to the cooling system now on the radiators. We've got the Artifon radiator braces. Really good bit of kit. I like those. Again, I've got them on the other bike, the 250F. They're interchangeable between the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke, the 17 to 2019 of these. And they are really strong. I like them. And they don't collect the dirt as well in muddy conditions. The dirt tends to drop out at the bottom, so it keeps the radiators cleaner. In addition to the rad guards, we've also upgraded the cooling system. I put the expansion tank reservoir in, which sits in the down tube of the frame. And we've also put the Samco hose kit on. We've taken the thermostat housing out as well, so we've got more free flow of coolant when the bike's in hot conditions. Now, just looking lower down on the bike, we've got the exhaust and sump guard protection. This is the Moto's exhaust and sump guard. Now a lot of people say, well, it's going to collect all the mud. Yeah, I appreciate that. In muddy conditions it will do, but this bike's going to be used in hopefully dry and stony rocky conditions, so hopefully it's not going to collect the sort of debris that you might collect in the UK when you're riding in Turkey or warmer climes, shall I say. So that's going to be tried out. I'm hoping that's going to work quite well. Looking further down as well on the engine, we've got the ignition protection cover. That's the service ignition protection cover, backed up by a clutch slave cylinder protector as well near the front sprocket. And also a complementing case on the opposite side for the clutch side as well. On the rear brake pedal, we've got the Enduro Engineering extended brake tip. Again, it's another little thing that I like. It just with the KTM factory one, it's that little bit small, and sometimes you miss it, particularly on those long downhills. You can sometimes miss that back brake, and when you need it, with that, you're guaranteed to pretty much hit it every time. Going towards the back of the bike now, we've got the swing arm guard protectors, the Polysport swing arm guard protectors. Now I fasten those on with stainless steel fasteners. They're like a screw band fastener, the Jubilee clip, which is a lot stronger than the standard cable ties that they come with. I've tried the cable ties before on the other bike. Within the first ride, I lost one of the swing arm guards, so it was like wasted money. So hopefully this will keep them on nice and secure, protect the swing arm. There's nothing worse than a scratched swing arm. Also got to look at, you know, the potential resale value of the bike as well later on. So if we can look after the bike from the outset and keep it fully protected, it's going to have a better resale value. Lower down, we've got the BRP chain block and the Super Sprox rear sprocket. Used Super Sprox for quite a while now, and they are really hard wearing. And the BRP chain block, I've not used it before. I've looked at other designs of chain block, and I've decided to go for this one and see how it wears, you know, for an event like Sea to Sky over the 4 days, compared with some of the other products that I see coming through the workshop at Eurotech. To complement that, got the aluminium swing arm guard protector as well. So an important piece of kit to back that up, protect those lugs on the swing arm. We've got the standard frame guards either side. Suspension wise at the rear, we've got the uprated spring for my weight, and we've also got a WP bladder kit as well fitted into the rear shock. From an exhaust point of view, we've got the standard pipe on the front, and also got the standard silencer. Now, I've had people say, Robbo, why do you put an Akrapovic on it? You know, really smart. What an Akrapovic costs. The first time out of Sea to Sky, you know what's going to happen, don't you? It's going to get battered. The stock pipe, why waste the money? And believe it or not, some of the pro riders also prefer the stock pipe for the better mid-range. So, stock pipe on there, and they'll be cheaper to replace than Akrapovic if I do need to get a new one. And finally, on the top of the bike, we've got the seat with the seat humping. Now, this is a homemade affair. This is a standard seat. We've taken the cover off, put a Power Parts seat cover on, and put my own piece of foam in there to make that hump. So that is something that I really lacked in Bulgaria. 6 days crazy job on some of those steep climbs when you need that low speed traction. You sort of lean over the front of the bike. You need something to push on and keep your weight a little bit forward. That's hopefully going to help me out in Sea to Sky there on some of those climbs. And up front, we've got the small tank bag, really handy for putting those small personal items in, like your wallet, bit of money, mobile phone, etc. A really good bit of kit, and fairly waterproof as well for keeping your items dry. But I always recommend putting stuff in a plastic bag anyway. But that's about it, really. That is the new bike. Like I said, a couple of things to still go on. That is a bar pad and the lower fork leg protector on the opposite side of the brake caliper. We're pretty much there. Stock engine, and I'm really looking forward to getting out to Sea to Sky. But now, let's go and run it in. Okay, so this is the first ride. Got the engine warmed up. As you can see, conditions down here are pretty dry at the moment now. The type of soil down here is very sandy. It dries out. It's very loose. It's nice to come down here every now and again, whenever I want, and just have a play for an hour, do a few motos, a bit like this, just to keep those bike riding muscles loose. A lot different to the 4-stroke, lighter. So far, very smooth. Yeah, I think we're about warmed up now. Let's get a full lap in. Slipping on this grass. Quite a hard back tire I've got on. These banks are quite sandy as well, very low, so when you put them in front wheel, it out a bit. Drop. Proper sandy. Well, that's it from me. We've got about a couple of hours of running in down here. To know more about the product on the bike, check us out. I'll take you to KTM. You can give me a ring direct to the shop, or you can contact me on my email, which is team.pencil@gmail.com. I'll be back next week from the workshop with an update for 60 Sky. See you soon. This is it.